mentors change everything. I think there's a reality to my situation that if I hadn't have found the mentors that I had, and God hadn't put them in my life, I could have been on a very different path today. Would I would have been an entrepreneur? Probably, but probably would have been doing something totally different that wasn't in my true alignment with who I am and what I want to do. So, I've had mentors that have taught me how to get on stage and speak. I hired a book mentor. I've hired fitness mentors. One of my current ones right now, Mickey. I've hired spiritual mentors that have come in and helped me in different ways. Former pastors that counseled me on my marriage. Anybody that's going to come into your life that's an expert that you would switch places with in that specific area of your life, I would consider to be a mentor. If I would, like, one of my first mentors, Larry, at the time when I was 17 years old, I was working a 9-to-5 job, making horrible money, doing nightlife stuff on the side. And I started designing flyers for him. He had a consistent job working as a gang task force in the prisons for Folsom Prison. He owned a bar nightclub that I was doing the nightlife events for. He was well connected. He just had everything in his life. Great car, great home, multiple homes. Just, he had the success in his life that I wanted. And I was like, wow. And all the people around him in his life were the same way. And I'm like my dad said, hang out with 6 millionaires, you become the seventh. I'm like, well, I'm just going to hang out with these guys and see where this goes. And this is where it goes, where I'm at today. Right. So I have mentors in almost every area of my life. Spiritual, physical, emotional, my health, my wealth, my relationships, like in every area. And I think it's important to have not just one in some areas, but sometimes you need two or more. Like Michael Jordan, when he was playing basketball, he had 4 mentors, 4 coaches that he worked with during the time he was playing basketball, just for his, he probably had one for his shot, for his free throws, or one for his, what I mean? He probably had one in different areas of playing the game. And it's like, if you want to be the best at what you do, you need to find experts that have figured it out, right? That have the knowledge that you need. You need to go acquire that as quickly as possible. A mentor is like a shortcut. People are always looking for shortcuts and secrets to success. That's the secret, is get a mentor or hire a mentor or hire a coach. That's the shortcut, is by getting those people that have already figured it out. They have the knowledge that you need, and you can acquire that for money, for time, for however you acquire it. It's up to you, but just by giving, things like that. So that's it for me. I think mentorship is a game changer, and it's something that I want to now do for as many humans as I possibly can. My goal is 1 million. I want to mentor 1 million people, not all obviously directly, but indirectly and directly. I want to mentor 1 million people and be able to give them, like, especially at-risk youth, give them 1 million computers with my mentorship programs on those computers that they can go and really build a future on.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that sort of, I love that you're wanting to make that sort of positive impact. So like, if someone is getting started and they're looking for mentors, they're like, they hear you and they're like, yeah, I want to get a mentor now, Adrian. How can they go about that? Where can they find mentors? Like, how have you gone about it?
I love this question. I think it's really important because there is this level of entitlement in our society, and this, like, well, this person should want to help me and they're successful and they have money, so it's not a big deal to them, right? Like, it's still got to be a win-win situation for both people. I could be a millionaire or a billionaire right now, but if somebody's going to come in and waste my time, like I said, that's my most valuable thing. It doesn't matter how much money I have. It's the time that I have. And so if you're going to take my time, then you need to come to me with a specific goal. Like, hey, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, and I'm trying to do it in this amount of time. These are some of the challenges that I'm facing. This is really what I need. Can you, or do somebody are they willing to help me? Are they willing to support me in this? I don't have a lot of money. And just being, again, using that vulnerability, that superpower, I don't have a lot of money, or I'm limited on funds, or I don't have a lot of time, and just being real about your situation. Let them make a decision from an honest, educated standpoint. And if they say yes, then accept the gift. A lot of people have a hard time receiving. It's like, they're okay with giving. Oh, I'm going to give my family this. I'm going to give my friend this. I'm going to give this homeless person this. But then when it comes time to receive, they're horrible receivers. And so have your stuff together. And then when you do get very clear on what it is that you want first, then you go and you approach them with what you know and what you need. And then from there, take it seriously and actually do what they say. Don't just like listen to it and take the time. You're like, cool. And then just keep doing the same stuff. Like, actually apply it and integrate it into your business or into your life.
Right. Yeah, that's great advice. Having something that will like a clear vision of what you want, sharing it with them so that way you can save time because they're very busy.
It's not my
And then,
job to try to figure your life out for you.
right,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like,
You're
figure
not a
your stuff
counselor.
out and go to a counselor, go to a therapist, work more jobs, meet more people, help more people, like discover who you are and what breaks your heart in the world and what matters to you, what makes you get up out of bed and go to the gym. Like, figure yourself out before you go take up somebody else's really precious and valuable time. It's not their job to figure you out for you.
100%.
Yeah.
Love that. So what kind of what for those people too, like what does a mentorship relationship look like? There's so many different I guess ways, like relationships. Some people are like, hey, every week we'll meet at this time. And some people it's like, you talk to them once in a while whenever you have a question. So like what does a good mentorship relationship look like?
There's so many dynamics that'd be like, what does a good website look like?
Mhm.
Right? It's like impossible to really give a one size answer. But what I can tell you is that you have to fit into somebody's values and schedule. They need to be able to make the time. Both people need to be able to make the time for each other and make that commitment and hold each other accountable for the things that they said they're going to do. I think that's a really important piece to it. But most people lack in that integrating part. That's where a lot of people struggle, is like they can get the information, but then how do I apply that? And so if you're going to have a mentor, you need to make sure that they're available to walk you through the steps one step at a time. And they're actually like qualified. Like I said, you want to be able to be willing to switch places with them. Like, if I wouldn't change places with somebody, I wouldn't ask them to be my mentor. Right. If they don't have fruit in their life, like, there's people that are extremely successful in business, but lack significantly in their personal life, that I would never ask to be my mentor in business and personal in any area of my life. Right. So just because they're good in one area doesn't mean they're good to be your mentor. And so I think you really need to look at them as a whole, as a person, and then tell them honestly and realistically, these are my expectations. Is this something that you can do? And if they say yes, they're making agreement with you, then you need to hold them accountable for those things. And if they don't show up for you, this is where your communication skills need to come in. You say, hey, look, when we first started, this was my expectation. I appreciate that you said yes and that you're giving me your absolute best. If I need to compensate you for your time, please communicate with me. Please just let me know. Or if we need to adjust things, please let me know. Right. And just being able to have that effective communication, which most people are afraid of confrontation and afraid to go to somebody that's higher up or more experienced or has more success than them. Right. They're intimidated. That is not going to help you win. That's a scarcity mentality. You're operating out of fear. So operate out of love and honor that person, their time, their talents, their gifts. Love yourself, your time, your talents, your gifts, and then just be a giver, man. Make it a two-way street where it's like, hey, how can I be here for you? I thank you so much for everything you've done for me. Oh, you need a flyer. Oh, you need a design. Oh, you need a website. Oh, you need a referral, right? Oh, you just need a friend. A lot of these mentors, like, it's lonely at the top, man. Like,
Oh yeah.
when you get to the top, there's not a lot of people that understand the game of business and the game of life the way these people do. Like, they've figured out the secrets and the things that society's used to keep us down, and they've broken those things off of their life. So the last thing they want to do is be around more people that are going to bring them back into that type of thinking. So just make sure that your understanding of their situation and where they're at, and you don't try to get them to come meet you where you're at,
Mhm.
on certain levels.
Right. Yeah, I think that's huge. Being able, it's almost like a dance, it's like,
Yes.
how can it benefit both parties and how can you kind of work in tandem with them?
Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you watch the full episode here. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you click on the subscribe button. I really appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next video.